I was asking myself, because I know about a lot of uncontacted tribes and shit, but I was wondering, are there uncontacted tribes in Africa? Because I don't think we ever hear about uncontacted tribes in Africa. We hear about the Sentinelese people in the coast on the Sentinelese Islands or like South America, shit like that. But we never hear about uncontacted tribes in Africa. So I got led here. It's many places I could have looked, but I started looking in the Congo. I started in the Congo, but here I am.
One of the world's great rivers flows from the heart of Africa. It cuts through the largest rainforest outside the Amazon, with wildlife found nowhere else on Earth. It's amazing. The Democratic Republic of the Congo is a vast, beautiful but tormented place.
Ntango elitakala bankoko bakiso balena mpasi le beloko mpimbo mbebeta.
This country is rich, but its people are among the world's poorest. For centuries, its resources have been plundered and it's been ravaged by war.
From here, you cannot find anybody. They start going, all of them. They will disappear here soon.
The violence goes on, and now it's plagued by Ebola. But some change is coming to this country the size of Western Europe. With elections finally on the horizon, we're setting off on a long and challenging expedition to follow the Congo into the heart of Africa.
Congo, a journey
You wanna play
to
like
the
this?
heart.
You do not need to be doing this.
Okay, buddy, get your ass off my screen.
From the Atlantic Ocean to the heart of the continent, the Congo has always been a place of fear and mystery. The mouth of the river is lined with ancient mangrove swamps. It's an eerie and mysterious start to an epic adventure.
Well, this is the point where the Congo River and the Atlantic Ocean meet. Next step is Brazil. It was 1482 when the Portuguese were sailing past this coast and they noticed this surge of brown water and realized there must be a river here. That was the Congo, and this is the direction they took. For 3,000 miles, we're going to take you up this great river to try and understand its history, its riches, its poverty, and its future.
From the Atlantic Ocean, we'll follow the river to its furthest reaches, navigating round its powerful rapids and through its chaotic capital city, Kinshasa, as it arcs up north and then south, twice crossing the equator. We'll visit its war-torn east, venture into Ebola territory, meet rare gorillas, and find out just how rich
Ebola
this country
territory,
could
what
be.
the fuck?
As they sailed up this first stretch of river, the Portuguese must have dreamed of the great riches that lay ahead. They found a well-organized society, the Kingdom of the Congo, open to their offers of trade. But less than 100 kilometers inland, they hit an obstacle that it would take centuries to get around. The rapids. A series of steep cataracts make this stretch of the Congo impassable by boat. And so this port, Boma, became a European center of trade. Guns and goods came in, ivory and slaves went out. These odd monuments in the town reflect that past. It's not a great likeness, but that's Henry Morton Stanley, the first European to travel the Congo from its source to the sea. Stanley was a Welshman who took 999 days to travel here from the eastern coast.
What year they said?
Welshman. These odd monuments in the town reflect that past. It's not a great likeness, but that's Henry Morton Stanley, the first European to travel the Congo from its source to the sea. Stanley was a Welshman who took 999 days to travel here from the eastern coast of Africa. It was an epic journey and opened up the interior of Africa for exploitation. Ivory and slaves went out.
What year?
These odd monuments in the town reflect that past. It's not a great likeness, but that's Henry Morton Stanley, the first European to travel the Congo.
Henry Morton Stanley, Henry Morton Stanley. Henry Morton Stanley, 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 Henry Morton Stanley. Okay, died in 1904. So this picture is probably 18.
From its source to the sea. He was a Welshman who took
1880 right here. Why they got that backdrop? Why is it a backdrop back there? Why is it a backdrop? If you in the Congo, you got this little boy. Like I feel like I know him. I know people who look like him. My thing is, if you in the Congo, why the hell you got this backdrop? Just go in the damn Congo. Like, is that a real rock? Is that a real tree? You got a fucking backdrop.
999 days to travel here from the eastern coast of Africa. It was an epic journey and opened up the interior of Africa for exploitation.
Le voyage de Stanley avait un but. Le but, comme je vous ai dit, pour le roi Léopold II, c'était à découvrir le Congo parce que quand il avait traversé le pays, qu'il est allé dire aux Anglais, comme je vous ai dit, que j'ai découvert une partie de la terre qui a trop de richesses, mais ce n'est pas colonisé. Si les Anglais avaient accepté, les Anglais, nous, on allait être colonisés par les Anglais. Mais après tout, on lui a demandé d'aller voir le roi Léopold II qui avait des possibilités, et celui-là s'est intéressé du Congo.
The Belgian king was looking for his own colony. The men met, and the Congo Free State was born. Boma was its capital. This was once the Governor-General's residence, but it's not a time in history that's remembered fondly. The powerful rapids that had been the obstacle for so long remain impassable today. But they've also provided great opportunity for hydroelectric power.
There are few places on the planet where rivers run as fast and as hard as the Congo does here as it approaches the sea. A hydroelectric power station built here could provide electricity for the whole of Africa. It would produce twice as much power as any other hydro plant on Earth. That is how rich the Congo could be if the resources were put to good use.
They built 2 small power stations decades ago here at Inga, but there's always been a much more ambitious plan for a grand Inga Dam to be built across this whole valley. A deal has recently been signed to make that happen.
Ce projet va permettre l'essor économique de toute l'Afrique parce que pour le moment, ce que l'Afrique a besoin, une source qui est sûre, une source qui est fiable parce que l'énergie hydroélectrique, c'est une énergie propre et renouvelable. Et nous l'avons sur le site d'Inga en permanence et en quantité.
But promises have been made before, and nothing has happened. The story of the Congo is often the story of lost or squandered opportunity. To get around the rapids means we need another form of transport. The railway was built under the orders of Henry Morton Stanley in the 1890s to replace a long and arduous trek. Around that time, Joseph Conrad walked the route to become a steamboat captain upriver. His diary became the Heart of Darkness.
I wonder if this train is their only way of getting around. Like, I wonder.
A novel whose title created a stereotype that still haunts the DRC today. The trains only run once a week after being derelict for years. It's an opportunity for the villagers along the way to sell as much as they can in a 5-minute mobile market. To sell as much as they can.
One thing that's good about this is it don't look like they need no food. It look like they good on food. Because they just trying to sell their food for money. But at least they can eat. At least y'all eating. And it look like fresh, good shit. You see them? I can make a full-ass meal just what I'm looking at right now.
In a 5-minute mobile market.
Pallet jet.
Kinshasa, the Democratic Republic of the Congo's crazy, chaotic capital. Joseph Kabila has been president since 2001. But 2 years after delayed elections, he's standing down. Kinshasa is one of Africa's biggest and fastest growing cities. It's big and brash and bossy. There's a strange but colourful subculture that's grown out of Kinshasa and across Africa. The sapeurs, who put their confidence on display.
Comme on a eu Micho la princesse, naza sapeur nazala ana Congo, un défi la canal léopard de la SAP.
Princess is getting ready for a night out. The French acronym SAP, SAPE, stands for the Society of Ambience Makers and Elegant People, and she certainly fits the bill.
Vous comprenez? Naza mamu tema be mambo ilamba pone ilamba donc na kotambula nanga na vai nanga bonaza na bino normal. Mais so na sina lati déjà Japon et mon asanjaka déjà tidia au senti bena ke donc tam sona lati mapangu na nzoto nanga. But musu ba osumba mituka, musu ba osumba mapangu minga na ozo mbonga osumba lupangu na osumba on ilamba. Na on pesa une idéologie fona za nango fier. Comprendre?
Be true to who you are.
SAP goes back to the 1920s, but it was the 60s, after independence, when it came into its own. When the musician Papa Wemba championed an extravagant dress code in direct opposition to the country's leader. President Mobutu decreed Western attire a symbol of colonialism, and it was forbidden. Today, thousands of Congolese sapeurs, like Princess, celebrate the art of dressing well.
Yeah, the cameraman don't want to show everything. He don't know what he's talking about.
From here in Kinshasa, the rapids end and boats can travel the river again. And so begins our long arc up to the equator and to Bandaka to explore life on the river at the first major port. In a vast country with so few roads, this is the Congo Superhighway.
This
is how people get around a country the size of Western Europe with very little infrastructure connecting it. When there's a huge river, they go by barge. These go all the way from Kinshasa right through to Kisangani, hundreds of miles with many, many stops along the way. And unlike small villages, people eat here, sleep here, they brave the elements and the mosquitoes here as well. And there used to be many, many more of these decades ago. The journey this far has already taken 2 weeks, and there's at least another week to go. They've been delayed here days by a dispute over unpaid duty on some of the cargo. Bureaucracy and the corruption that comes with it is a blight across the DRC. As long as you've got money, everything's fine. This man's a big fan of travelling by barge. Just like a big family, he says. But as a retired soldier, he's in no rush. Karine Linguli just wants the journey to end. Her husband recently died. She's disabled and has run out of money to buy food for her kids on the boat. She's heading for a new start, with a Bible by her side. During the Belgian colonial times, this river really was a highway. Among the traffic were luxury steamboats. The remains now lie rusting along the banks. The workshop's quiet.
I wonder what these machines do.
Remains now lie rusting along the banks. The workshop's quiet.
Steam engines.
In many ways, the Congo has gone back in time.
What you mean going back in time, stupid ass?
It takes just 4 or 5 hours driving through the forest to meet people living a very traditional way of life. This is Boyanga village. This pygmy ritual is to wish them good fortune, hunting in the forest. And we are going with them. They're looking for wildlife and useful plants along the way. They block animal holes and use smoke to force them out. It's the way they've always hunted. But a century ago, King Leopold discovered there was something in the forest worth a huge amount of money. Rubber. This white sap from the wild rubber vines could be collected and made into tires for bicycles and then cars. But before rubber plantations industrialized the process, this was the only source, deep in the forest. And so the pygmies were made to collect it.
Ntango elitakala bankoko bakiso balena mpasi le beloko mpimbo mbebeta nkakanga donc mbloka nkomo epenyanya bon tofo le zéro tofo sale mpe rien to yala nko mpimpita bekpa bitofo ate bekpa yanko bimpita déjà liya le penyan ko moi jamais. Le couteau caille, donc au coup si tu allais prison, mais quand même Dieu au volé, donc aucun n'a pas au coup qu'on a au coup soit même l'anjo.
The feared whip was called a chikot and made from dried hippo hide. But an even more brutal punishment was common. Some of those who didn't collect enough rubber had their hands cut off. Up to 10 million people died under the regime of King Leopold II. And early photographs of atrocities led to the world's first international human rights campaign. It hastened the end of King Leopold's rule, but his personal colony, which had made him rich, was handed over to Belgium in 1908, only for exploitation and brutality to continue. It was the Belgian Congo until 1960, even though there was little free about it for the Congolese. With independence came retribution and a great white flight from the country. Many Belgians left. The Congolese were handed a place rich with natural resources, but without the knowledge and training to use them. Such was the colonial style that few people were qualified doctors, academics, or tested leaders.
Man, I clicked this video trying to find uncontacted tribes, man. I wasn't trying to see all this shit, man. More atrocities to learn. I wasn't trying to learn no more atrocities. So pretty much what I'm finding out is there are no uncontacted tribes in Africa because they just live out there, but they still got connections as far as going back to the town center and buying shit or selling what they have to the town. And if it was uncontacted tribes, they already been fucking shit is sick, man. God damn.
This, and they do it very skillfully.
Every young boy has to go through the ritual of learning to swim, of understanding the twists and turns of the current. It's his first plunge into a tough life on the river. It was touch and go, but eventually he made it to safety. From here, the main river channel turns south, but we are going to keep going. The worst affected part of the country is the east, far from the capital and close to neighboring Rwanda and Uganda, and their designs on the mineral wealth this side of the Congo. And we're starting in Goma before heading even further into trouble. This city is home to a towering active volcano. This region is the epicenter of wars which have raged for the past 2 decades.
Millions of people died in the fighting and in the humanitarian crisis that followed. Scores of armed groups are still active in this region today. You have these local conflicts that often displace.
It's home to a critically endangered species, the eastern lowland gorillas. There are many gorilla families scattered through this forest, but 4 have been habituated. They're not afraid of humans and don't attack. They are who we're looking for.
There is bamboo shoot here.
It's the time of year when the gorillas feed on bamboo. We're following the mess they leave behind.
They've been here. It's 10 minutes here. Really? Yes, 10 minutes here ago they've been here.
Well, we spend probably a couple of hours now in the jungle, cutting through, following places where they've been eating the bamboo shoots. We think we're getting close. A couple of times we've heard them. But the guys are still trying to pick up the trail now.
After 3 hours, we got our first glimpse just a few meters ahead.
There's another one as well. That's the silverback.
The young ones caught us by surprise, coming so close. The masks we're wearing protect the gorillas from our germs.
Yeah, fucking right. Yeah, fucking right.
It's amazing.
There are probably fewer than 5,000 eastern lowland gorillas left in a fraction of the land they used to inhabit.
You was good till you said that dumbass shit.
Being comfortable with humans allows visitors to come, to help pay for the conservation, but it's risky for them, with poachers and militant groups in the area.
The first danger for gorilla is just the man. But in the jungle, is no dangerous in the jungle because they feeding leaves, they feeding fruit, they feeding bamboo. No dangerous for our gorilla here in Kahuzi-Biega National Park. And after the war here in Congo, those gorilla family, the number is increasing for our gorilla, and it's very important.
It's a truly magical and unique experience. But again, there's that struggle between preserving nature and using the country's resources for economic growth when people are so poor. The Congo's mineral wealth is a freak of nature. Its earth is packed with metal ores like copper, coltan and cobalt, gold, diamonds, uranium, with vast seams in this part of Africa. The colonizers extracted and exploited. Many bullets fired in the First World War came.
No, sir. Not trying to hear nothing else about y'all. Sudanese.
Even today in our modern era, there's still hundreds of uncontacted tribes scattered across the globe. These tribes live in some of the world's most remote places, and the uncontacted tribe known as the Pintupi 9 certainly isn't an exception. The Pintupi Nine were a group of fittingly 9 people living a nomadic lifestyle in the land around the Lake Mackay region. The Pintupi Nine would set out makeshift camps near Australian waterholes. These waterholes were often 25 miles apart from each other or even more, which led to extremely long and dangerous treks through the Australian outback. Oftentimes, there was no water for these treks, so the Pintupi people would drink the blood of lizards so that they didn't become too dehydrated. The 9 Pintupi people consisted of 2 sisters and their 7 teenage children, 4 brothers, and 3 sisters. There was 1 father for these children.
Fuck no. Fuck no. Folks, 9 people. That is not no tribe. For one, it's not no tribe, and that ain't no indigenous shit. 9 people drinking lizard blood. Get your ass on, man.
In the swamps and plain and scrub of Arnhem Land, in the Northern Territory of Australia, live the Miwok people, a tribe of about 400 Australian Aborigines. These primitive people live in an area stretching from Arnhem Bay on the Arafura Sea in the north to Blue Mud Bay in the Gulf of Carpentaria in the south. The Miwok people are divided into clans, each of which lives in its own particular territory. They consist of the Balamumu clan, the Raratingo, the Kumite, and the Wangari clans. There are also other territories common to all 4. These are used as meeting places of the clans.
What?
Here is a part of their land, lying along the seacoast.